There's a verse in Proverbs 11 that you've probably never heard preached before until now, but I believe it is one that might just help explain some of the patterns that you're currently seeing in your life. Let me show you. Because in Proverbs 11, verse 22, Solomon made a really strange comparison between a pig and a beautiful woman. He said, like a gold ring in a pig's nose, so is a lovely woman who lacks discretion. Why would he say that? In the clip you're about to watch, I unpack how Solomon actually arrived at this conclusion and the hidden wisdom behind it. What is the gold ring? Or what is a gold ring looking for in a pig's nose? Because once you see what the gold ring really represents, you'll understand why your environment, your appetite, and your associations can either be polishing the value that you carry or it's actually poisoning it. And if you've ever wondered or asked the question, why do I keep attracting the same kinds of people? This will make everything click. Make sure you watch it till the end, because once you see what Solomon saw, you will never see this proverb the same way again. Enjoy. So context, right? We always start with context. What could Solomon have seen that would have made him come to this conclusion? It says, as a ring of gold in a swine's snout or nose. What is a ring doing in a pig's nose? Was the first question that I asked. Like, is this just an imaginary distance, or did they actually put rings on pigs' noses? So I had to do some research there. And I realized that the pig usually uses its nose to root the ground, looking for food, for worms, for roots, for tubers, because it wants to eat, right? And remember, its scent is able to smell things that are under. But that's not a good thing for a farmer who is trying to nurture his field and cultivate. So what farmers would do was that they would put rings in the pigs' noses to prevent them from digging through the ground, because the ring in the nose would hurt them. Apparently, they would put the thing in one soft area of their nose that whenever they would do that, it would cause pain, so they wouldn't do it as often. But through questions, what's a ring doing on a pig's nose? We're able to discover that. Now, you also have to remember that Solomon grew up Jewish. He grew up with Jewish customs. As a Jew, it was forbidden to eat unclean animals. One of those unclean animals was the pig. And so Solomon must have grown up detesting pigs because they were considered unclean. But at this point in Solomon's reign, Solomon had made so many alliances with foreign nations. And when you make alliances with those nations, it's possible that a lot of them did not see pigs as unclean. They would eat the pigs. And so I imagine Solomon on his chariot one day, as he's passing by a Gentile farm, because this couldn't have been a Jewish farmer. It must have been a Gentile, a foreigner's farm. And he sees a bunch of pigs. But as he's looking, something is shining. And Solomon is looking like, what's that? And instead of seeing the regular metal that they will use, Solomon sees gold. Gold on a pig? Solomon is like, what? Why are you wasting something that is valuable on something that is dirty? It's like, why would you waste something that is valuable on something that is unclean? Something that will not even recognize the value of what you've given it. Think about it. The gold was in the nostril, so the pig could not even see the gold. Other people could see it, but the pig could not see it. It doesn't even know what it has. And so Solomon now makes a comparison that just as a ring is wasted on a pig's nose, so is a beautiful woman who lacks discretion. Again, what did Solomon see? Because he witnessed this, he also witnessed something here, and he saw the pattern, and he chose to create a correlation between the two. Now, where would Solomon have seen beautiful women? I mean, he was married to 700 wives, 300 concubines. All of them were probably beautiful women, because they were, like Thelma said last week, they were princesses. So these were really beautiful women. Plus, he was a king. The kings got the best of the best. So Solomon, at some point, plus he married a lot of foreign women, which sort of links to the pig, because the pig was unclean. Foreigners were considered unclean in those days as well. So Solomon must have noticed something about these beautiful women. Some of them. So is a lovely woman who lacks discretion. That word discretion in the original language means taste. That was interesting for me. I wasn't expecting to see that. But that word discretion means taste. Taste means the ability to discern flavors, to know the difference between what is sweet, what is sour, what is sweet, what is bitter. So Solomon is noticing that some of these beautiful women, they lacked the ability to taste accurately, that their palates were off. Something had corrupted the way they would interpret what they tasted. It's like their taste buds had been corrupted. It's like you see, like when someone tastes something that you know is bitter, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, that tastes so good," and you're like, "What? How? Like, what happened to you?" It's interesting how before I came into Christ, I used to drink stout, right? Guinness, one of the most bitter drinks ever. And because it had become an acquired taste for me, it actually became sweet. But someone else would taste it and be like, and spit it out, like, "What are you drinking?" That's what happens when you've taken in so much junk that junk now begins to taste good. When I was thinking about this, it reminded me of women who have been in so many toxic relationships that toxic men have now become their type. You have been in so much unhealthy relationships that now your goal is to be in an unhealthy marriage. The Bible says that guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life, which means your heart is your nature. The bad boys are now the attractive ones, the ones who don't return your phone calls, the ones who make you feel anxious. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if he likes me or not. A lot of people now interpret that as love. They don't realize that, that's dysfunctional. Her nature is currently craving the wrong things. And so just like a pig doesn't have refined taste, it eats filth. Have you seen pigs? They eat anything. They eat scraps, anything in front of them. It says, likewise, a woman without discretion doesn't discern between what nourishes and what poisons. She consumes whatever pleases her in the moment. Like, think about it. Like, a beautiful woman is supposed to attract favor and attention. But here's the thing with beauty. Beauty attracts both good and bad attention. It is up to you to decide which attention stays. My wife usually says this. Like, everybody, you see that because there are women who say, "Oh, I don't know why I keep attracting the wrong guys." No, you attract all sorts. The question is, I don't know why I keep retaining the wrong guys. Because everybody attracts attention from all sorts of people, good and bad. For some reason, you keep choosing the wrong ones. So it's not the attention that is the problem, it's your discretion. Solomon realized that, man, whenever these women receive attention from both sides, her ability to discern good attention from bad is shockingly poor. So poor that even her beauty doesn't make sense right now. Why are you beautiful if you are choosing like this? That's a waste of beauty. Like, by the time you come close enough to this woman and you recognize her mindset, her character, her beauty is devalued. Michael said something earlier, like this feminism mindset, it's so unattractive that even when you are attractive physically, when someone hears you speak, they're like, "Geez, man, how? How do I marry these two things together?" So what Solomon is saying is that beauty is only valuable when it is anchored on the right character. Be careful in your seasons of scarcity, because our tastes are usually refined in seasons of scarcity. Who remembers the story of the prodigal son? The prodigal son left his father's house where there was abundance. He went to a far country. He says when he spent all that he had and he had no money, he became the slave of a man who was what? Rearing pigs. And guess what happened? At some point, it says that the food that the pigs were eating became appetizing to him. Do you know what that means? What he would have rejected in a season of abundance began to look appetizing in a season of scarcity. It is why if you ever hear someone saying, "All the good guys are gone, all the good girls are gone," run from that person, because that's a scarcity mindset. Someone who believes that will see the food that pigs are eating as appetizing. You will begin to crave things that you'd have rejected in a different season, because you're in a scarcity mindset. And like, if I don't get, this person is showing me attention now, if I don't settle, I may never get another. And so you settle. You end up choosing something that you'd have rejected, or something that you reject in 5 years or in 5 months. This is why a lot of people have buyer's remorse. You have settled and now you've seen the person, oh my goodness, but you already made a decision. Be careful in your season of scarcity. Tastes are usually refined during those seasons. Never ever have a scarcity mindset. Look at the prodigal son. All of a sudden it's like, when he came to himself, man, my father's house has more than enough. Do you realize that in a season where there was scarcity, there was another place that had abundance? Your location is wrong. The problem is not the lack of men or women. You are just in the wrong location. I see people who are looking for a husband, but you're going to the club. You're looking for a good husband, and you're going to the club. And you're like, man, good men are scarce. Of course, in that location, good men will be scarce. Why don't you go to another location where good men are in abundance? Your problem is your location. You're searching in the wrong place. You are positioned in the wrong place. The value of a thing is dependent on the character of the one that is carrying it. This is why, someone asked me the other day, like, who do you think you've been called to? And I said, I don't think I've been called to unbelievers. Personally, I believe I've been called to people who claim to be Christians but are not living the Christian life. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. You see, the gospel is valuable, but when what is valuable is attached to people with low character, it corrupts the value. This is why Jesus said, do not throw pearls among pigs because they will trample on it. The gospel is valuable. To be called a Christian is something of value. But if that value is attached to someone with the wrong character, you make what is valuable look devalued. The same way with the pig. Then you see that gold, you're like, oh my goodness, that gold, like why is this on this person? I believe I've been called to lukewarm Christians because lukewarm Christians are a bigger problem than we think. Today, it irks me when I hear the divorce rate in the church is the same as the divorce rate in the world. That's not true. But you know why they use those stats? It's because people who were born, people who got married in church are being called Christians. People who were born into Christian families who are not practicing the Christian values are being tagged Christians. So when you collate this stat, it looks like Christian marriages are not working. Meanwhile, why don't we get the stat of people who are living the Christian values? And let's see how many of those marriages actually work. I won't say that there are no divorces in there, but it's going to be minimal. It's going to be minimal. It's not going to be half and half because that's what everybody's saying now. If your marriages are not working in church, then why are we exporting it? Because there are lots of lukewarm Christians who call themselves Christians. They put on the label, but are not practicing the Christian values. And so it gives Christians a bad reputation. That's why I believe I've been called to them. Because you already believe this thing. I just need you to know who you are. I just need you to understand what it is that you said you believe. Get to know Jesus for who he is. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this clip and you'd like to watch the entire Bible study session, make sure you click this link here. And if you've been blessed by this channel in any way you feel led to support, please consider clicking the link below. And for any amount you give, you get a free Bible study masterclass where I teach you how to unlock the 3 dimensions of the word. Literally, I'm going to be teaching you how to study the Bible in 3D. If you also feel led to support us on a monthly basis, consider becoming a member of the YouTube channel where you get some exclusive perks as well, like becoming a part of our monthly book club. Thanks again for watching, and God bless you. See you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.